I had an obsession in Afghanistan that manifested, and now I believe it's through the pill. I met a girl online there, and I became obsessed with speaking to her and things like that. And I formed this relationship in my mind that I was coming home to. And she actually ended up being a fake person. And I don't know if you ever heard of catfishing.
Yes.
Yeah, I got catfished while I was overseas on Mefloquine. So my injury, it was just a mess when I came home with that. As well as when I first had kids, I got homicidal ideations of doing things to them that were traumatizing to me, and which led me to go get help. Giving them a bath, I'd get a vision in my mind of like pushing their head under the water. And I'd almost bring myself to tears because of it, you know what I mean? Never would I inflict injury on my children, but just the thought alone disturbed me to the core, you know?
Well, that's ultimately how I lost my children. It wasn't that I would ever act on anything. It's that I had admitted that I was having difficulties with different thought processes. And because initially I was on my own with 2 children, because my wife had abandoned. When I went to Somalia, I was a single father and hired a live-in nanny.
Really?
When I got back, I started into a second relationship. I had 2 children through it. And when my ex-wife decided, because I was seeing people for my post-traumatic stress, and Somalia and the Airborne Regiment were in the news and, you know, making the headlines, it became an opportunity for her to make a lot of accusations, which were eventually disproven, but it didn't stop what my children went through, right?
Well, to bring up that, I deal with, I don't know if you're familiar with the term of parental alienation.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I have 2 children I did not see for 21 years as a result. Yes.
I'm a targeted parent in that aspect as well, so I can speak on that. And it's been troubling, you know, trying to deal with both of those, Mefloquine and parental alienation, being that parental alienation isn't a recognized term either. And even though there's a categorized set of, you know, behaviors and things that you can figure out in children that are being exposed to this kind of abuse, but the system's hesitant to recognize it as well. So hopefully, looking like we're going to get that recognition soon. So
yeah, so it's really interesting. It's because the most of the targeting was done by the Children's Aid Society based upon the media presentation of the Canadian Airborne Regiment. That was supported by my wife's testimony of abuse, but the whole time the Children's Aid Society had the evidence and proof on the file that she was lying. Right, so they opted to use her lies to their advantage because of basically they decided they were going to be judged during execution, and so they alienated me from my children. I ended up fighting them. It took me several years, but I won the court case. I got my one son back. My older daughter and his older sister decided that she wanted to stay with her mother anyways, and then my younger 2 were taken and out of province against the court order and then into the States. So and it wasn't until they were, you know, 21 and 23 years of age that I actually got to see them. And that was just a year ago.
Yeah, I've been fighting since I moved back here from New Brunswick, trying to get my kids into some sort of therapist and that. But when the other parent isn't on board, you just have no power. So unfortunately, you're left in limbo, and it's a challenge. And I know a lot of guys and girls are going through the same thing with trying to navigate, you know.
Yeah, there are several guys online. They've been outright harassed and arrested by the RCMP, never charged. But in all the court documents, they treat it as if they've been charged. And every time they go into court, these charges are brought up, even though they've never been charged. One of them just recently won a case and got access to his children. The judge ruled that actually in 2 of the cases I know of, the judge ruled that like in mine, that the mother had lied, manipulated, and in all those cases, myself included, the family court will not act against the mothers and charge them for parental alienation, even though
hopefully that's where we're going to end up going, that once it's recognized in the DSM. Or it's sad that we need that recognition, because you know.
Yeah. But you still need the courts to enforce a law, and this is the problem in Canadian society, North American society, is that it's not a lack of laws, it's lack of enforcement.
Yeah, and a lot of the times, again, awareness. People don't even know what they're dealing with, and it's kind of like walking around in the dark. Because once you see what you're dealing with on sort of a systematic level, you can kind of learn how to navigate through the obstacles that come up, because it's very complex. Without any sort of a, you know, go-to for information, you're left looking on the internet web pages and reading how other people, like case-based studies of their own kind of experiences, you know. So
yeah,
we need more guidance and we need more support. And I think through social media, all these groups are growing, because there's so many people interested in being affected.
I remember the year my children were abducted, and it's the only word I have for it. They were abducted by the CAS. That year, there had been 30 children in a 2-month period die in the hands of the Children's Aid Society. Right,
and human trafficking, crime rings and things. So you never know who you're dealing with.
Oh yeah, so it's crazy stuff.
And we just got to have more transparency. That's the only thing we can do. And we know this government, how they acted, even with Mefloquine, they're trying not to be as transparent as people would like. So that's the constant battle, where we can move the line between what we're allowed to see and what they're trying to keep from us. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think we're becoming more aware as a people. The internet's helped us grow, you know.
Yeah, and the response to that, of course, is to start calling people conspiracy nuts.
Yeah. Well, that's a term that was invented by the CIA post the Kennedy assassination. So
yeah,
it's been now weaponized phrases. They're everywhere now, and they have a cognitive meaning that come with them, and they're easy to, you know, shut people down and prevent discourse. So
yeah,
that's the times we live in, unfortunately.
it is.
But I'm glad we're able to do this today, and thanks for having me anyway.
Same here.